Sometimes a movie's just fine. Welcome to a new review here on the Feelin' Film podcast, everyone. I'm your film critic, Aaron White, and I'm excited today to talk about a film that has been getting a lot of Oscar buzz and was a real hit of the Toronto International Film Festival that I attended earlier this year. So let's dig into it, and I'll go over my feelings, as mid as they may be, for American Fiction, coming to us from Amazon MGM Studios. It stars Jeffrey Wright, Tracy Ellis Ross, Issa Rae, Sterling K. Brown, John Ortiz, Erica Alexander, Adam Brody, and Keith David. It is written and directed by Cord Jefferson and based on the 2001 novel Erasure by Percival Everett. Cinematography is by Christina Dunlap, is edited by Hilda Rasula, and music is by Laura Cartman. It runs 117 minutes and is rated R for language throughout, some drug use, sexual references, and brief violence. What's it about? A novelist who's fed up with the establishment profiting from black entertainment uses a pen name to write a book that propels him to the heart of hypocrisy and the madness he claims to disdain. So yes, as the synopsis says, this story is about Jeffrey Wright playing a novelist who has not really been all that successful in his own right. He goes by the nickname of Monk, and he is currently going through it. He is dealing with all sorts of familial issues at home, on top of being constantly frustrated by the fact that what he writes is not what, quote, white people want to see published. Now, before we get to him writing a new book under a pseudonym, or a complete fake identity, actually, we get introduced to his everyday life, where he has a contentious relationship with his gay brother. He deals with the unexpected loss of a family member. He deals with a progressive illness in his mother that causes friction and difficulty for the family and how they're going to take care of her. There's a constant air of the lasting emotional effects of his father's poor choices on his extended family. And then he also embarks on a little bit of a new romance. One night, in a fit of frustration, starts writing a book about deadbeat dads, rappers, and crack. What's more black than that, he says. When this happens, it's actually one of the most visually interesting scenes in the film, and something that I wish the movie had leaned more into. As he's pinning this from his desk in an office space, we see his fictional characters come to life and are in real time acting out the words that he's writing down. They even interact with him at one point in a very meta way, asking questions about the decision making, and he is processing, trying to write the thing that he feels is going to sell, the thing that the media believes is what people want their stories about African Americans to be. He then tries to sell his literary agent, John Ortiz, on this new material, to which the agent initially balks and says, absolutely not. This is drivel and this is not you. But once he sends it off for another opinion, they start finding out that people are all about this. And not only is the literary world interested, but also Hollywood. And so from that point, Monk creates this new persona as Stagg, an ex-convict who wrote this book, and starts progressively getting more and more into the lie and trying to fake this hard criminal demeanor in which to sell this fake story that he has written. At one point, he opines, the dumber I behave, the richer I get. And ain't that the truth sometimes in real life? Now, the film is sold as a comedy. If you've watched the trailers, and if you hear people talk about it, largely the discourse online revolves around how funny this is as satire. I found it to be about 75% drama and maybe 25% funny. Ultimately, I was just very underwhelmed. There are definitely some good individual moments anchored by a really wonderful cast, but it doesn't have the constant bite that, for me, the best satire does. It does make some good points, don't get me wrong, but maybe it plays it a little bit too safe for my liking and wraps up in a neat and tidy way. And it's just very crowd-pleasing, and I don't feel that it engages what it really is wanting to critique in a way that is offering up any sort of solutions whatsoever. It's mostly focused on showing us how the arts industry wants to limit Black storytelling to narratives that focus on poverty, crime, and commodification of racial trauma. And in doing so, shape the next generation of Black voices to continually be the same. But is that really the case? Here in 2023, is this really the struggle that we still have with these two industries on display? I don't want to say that we've reached the place we need to be and that we can't get better, but considering the films that have been widely praised, won awards, had box office success, and the novels as well from Black authors in recent years, I don't necessarily think that we are in a place where this is nearly as strong of a critique as maybe the film wants you to think it should be. Perhaps it's just a little bit late to be taken as seriously as it wants, is kind of what I'm getting at. I also really don't care much for the way that the queer character in this film is depicted for us. We see a very stereotypical heterosexual man who we learn was caught with another man by his wife of many years, and this led him to now being free to be promiscuous and try out his new life as a gay man. It just leans into every single trope you can think of when it comes to that character, and I feel like that plays at odds with a story that is so intent on pointing out the exploitation of Black stereotypes. And then here it is at the same time further perpetuating homosexual stereotypes. So when the film is focused on Monk's literary pursuit and faking himself into writing this book that is a new bestseller, it's really engaging. And I just wish there was more of that. I didn't feel like the myriad of family subplots coalesced well with the main story. And as I said, while I don't think we've reached the place of racial equity that we want to be in, all of these issues combined just sort of render the satire a lot less effective and powerful. So as I say, the film is fine. It's a take it or leave it situation. I found nothing to be revelatory or emotionally stirring about it. So yeah, the film is just fine. It will be in theaters in limited release starting on December the 15th and then expanding on December 22nd, and you can check it out for yourself at that time. Thanks for watching or listening, and if you do see American Fiction, please come to the comments and let's talk about maybe how you feel differently if you come out of it with a different perspective. I'd love to hear from others on why they feel this to be such a powerful experience when that's just certainly not what I had at all. I'm open to hearing your thoughts, and I would love to chat regardless of whether you agree with me or not. If you're enjoying the reviews, please like, subscribe, and share. Those are the best ways to help us out on any platform of your choice. I'll be back soon with another new review. Until then, keep watching and keep feeling film.